Hello, everyone. This is Chaplain Dan Bonner, and I welcome you to this Tuesday edition of Conversations with Chaplain Dan. I'm feeling much better today than I was yesterday when we talked about God being with us in illness, and you saw that I was kind of a shut-in yesterday. But today I'm over here in our campus of the assisted living, and you might recognize that sign right there. Yes, I'm in the atrium, the greeting area of Laurel Hall, the special part of our assisted living community, which is for memory care. We're grateful that Laurel Hall is there. There's the secure door. But the reason I'm here today is not about Laurel Hall per se. It's about this window right here. This window right here has, let me see if I can show you. Do you see there? It has two chairs outside. And those two chairs, and there's the greeting area out there in the open air. Those two chairs beyond this window are one of the two places where now, in the current rules, you as a resident can sign up and come at the appointed time and greet one of or two of your relatives or loved ones or friends. You're given a telephone and they have a phone, and you talk to each other, but you can see each other actually just as close as that chair right there. Yes, that chair. Now, we all know that this is a new part of our plan to live with the pandemic of COVID-19. And we all know that it's not quite like being able to have our friends or relatives come and eat with us, mix with us, spend time in our room with us, like we would under normal circumstances. But this is a step forward in being at least close enough to see in person someone you love. You know, being able to see and almost touch someone who loves you is a very important part of life, isn't it? And it's one of the things that, frankly, many of us here wrestle with during this time. Jesus, however, had an amazing ability to reach out and touch. He understood the importance of touching those who were in some specific need. And there was no window there to separate Jesus from those he touched. But in Matthew's gospel, the story is told of a woman who came to the well at noonday in a Galilean village to draw water all by herself. And Jesus was walking by, coming into the village, and he saw her. Very uncharacteristic, because in that day, women often went together early in the day to socialize, but also as a group to draw the water from Jacob's well. This woman by herself in the heat of the day was just not normal. But in this abnormal situation, Jesus, instead of just walking by and saying, I wonder what's wrong with her, Jesus reached out to her and said, my sister, may I have a drink? and she talked for a few minutes, gave the master a drink, and then, she still not knowing who he said, listened while Jesus told her many things about her that he could see as the Son of God. One was that she lived a very lonely, isolated life. She was a woman, a Samaritan, in a community of Jews. The second was that she was, Jesus said, talked about in the community as having a number of different men in her life. Now, we don't know exactly what that meant, but we could think about in our days having a number of different companions in your life of the opposite sex is likely to lead to problems, at least. She was having problems, and all of that led her to be isolated and by herself. And Jesus said, "My sister, I want to give you water that if you drink of it, you will never thirst again. In fact, it is the water that invites you to be a part of God's eternal kingdom." Jesus witnessed to her, touched her deep in her life. And this outcast woman said, "Oh my goodness, I will follow you." And she went about telling people in the community, women, perhaps some of the men she was with, this man, Jesus, told me he would give me living water, and that if I drank it, I would never thirst. He also told me everything about myself. Come and see him. He is the promised one, the Savior. I hope that you realize that you are capable of being touched today, even in your isolation, by that same Savior. Not because of loose living are you alone, but because of the unintended consequence of being in a community of assisted living during a global pandemic. So to keep you safe physically, the rule of the Wesleyan is you stay isolated. Window visits, yes. Maybe even a very closely organized traveling visit with your friends and family, yes. But most of all, you can be touched in this time by the same master who stopped one day at noon in the heat of the day by Jacob's well. Jesus Christ is reaching to touch you. It's a blessing to be with you today. You are not alone, and neither am I. Come back on Thursday after worship on Wednesday, and we'll have another conversation about Jesus with us. And then on Friday, the testimony, the very special testimony of Georgetown's Mayor, Dale Ross, during our conversation time. Look forward to Thursday and Friday. God bless you, and have a good rest of your Tuesday.